I'm John Tenches, professor in the Department of Dance. I'm actually the music director in the Department of Dance. And this year I also have a faculty fellows appointment at NCSA, the National Center for Supercomputing Applications.
And so this project has started called Lait. I call it All Lait.
Right.
But maybe tell us a little bit about this project.
Yes, well, I work a lot in computers and dance, what I call computer-assisted interactive dance. And my last dance involved iPads, a whole series of networked iPads, and also we decided as an outgrowth of that to involve iPhones and Android phones in this dance.
Okay, so I want to just discuss this project. I call it Lait.
Okay.
So why don't you first introduce yourself?
I'm Tony Remmer. I'm the lead developer on we'll call it Lait. That's a lot easier to say.
Yes, it is.
So I'm a doctorate student, studying getting a doctorate in music composition. I kind of took it upon myself. It's like, you know what, we need an app that does all these different things. None of them are really complicated. I bet you I can figure out how to do that.
I'm one of the programmers on the project. I do scripting for the game engine, so I send the messages between servers and stuff and render items like the particle system or color changes and stuff on client, so on mobile phone.
And so the audience was able to have their phones kind of flash extra information about the dance that you couldn't get by just watching the dance in person. You had to actually point your phone at the stage to get this extra information. Well, the audience just went bonkers over this. They loved the idea of using their phones, and artistically it was interesting too, because we were able to take some of the lighting effects, bring them out into the audience, etc. So I thought, wow, we have at Illinois this amazing computer science program, and we also have this amazing performing arts facility, the Krannert Center. And so I thought, well, why don't we put these together to really explore this idea of mobile apps in theater for the audience. And so I wrote to NCSA, this faculty fellows, to start this project called LAIT, the Laboratory for Audience Interactive Technologies, and I call it Theater Olay, which is sort of theater with a little extra froth.
It sounded a little different at first, but then any successful idea, I guess, would sound pretty radical.
Yeah.
So he told me about it. I was a bit hesitant, but I thought, yeah, it might work. After he showed me a video of it actually working in Krannert. So it's something that needs development, and it can go forward and be way more successful than when he was the lead programmer. So it's not as hard as it would be, but still it's pretty hard to integrating code and commenting code, like explaining why is this happening, so this is not working on Windows but working on Mac for some reason, and it's harder than what it used to be before, just making apps and pushing them out onto the App Store.
Yeah.
We're dealing with a very fluid market that, thinking of it in terms of market terms, where each individual creator has got an amazing amount of creative thinking and are always trying to do new things.
Yeah.
How do we service that with an app?
Yes.
Right. So the way this has to be driven is by mounting performances and customizing the app for performance.
Actually, software development, especially object-oriented development, there are so many really, really tight, close parallels to writing music. You apply transformations to things. If you have a musical gesture, that gesture is going to have notes, or it's going to have attributes that you access, and you manipulate those attributes as you move through a score, much the same way as you move through a program, you manipulate an object.
Yeah.
So there are no fixed targets as such. Okay, so after this month, we need to have this much done. But every week we brainstorm ideas and we say, okay, we'll have this much done by next week.
Okay.
So I think that's good enough. And then we have.
But do you have any feeling when you'll be done?
So that's the thing, right? We can just add more and more stuff as time goes on. We can just add, okay, so now we want this. And the best part is that Professor John, he knows a lot of people who are interested in this stuff. So we could add more and more features which people in the theater world actually want.
working with
That's
me.
what we do to some. This is we throw more people at it. We think we get done faster. This is
Right.
it, yeah.
So I had 10 people working with me, and so my role changed dramatically. No longer was I in the rehearsal, in the dance studio, you know, think of that as a metaphor, or in the office, you know, hands-on, because a lot of times I get a little hands-on. I'll do a little coding. I don't know a lot, but I do a little bit. Or, you know, there's this back and forth all the time in the rehearsal. Let's see how this looks. Let's, you know. Suddenly I've got 10 people I'm managing, and I find myself very much removed from the process.
Science type students.
Yeah. So that's you know, that's been a real challenge for me on a number of different levels, because I did build everything myself previously, and not that I wanted to necessarily, but it was kind of out of necessity, which is another thing that comes from the arts. It's, you know, I mean, it needs to get done. The show has to go on. So in that case, it's, you know, I don't have a problem letting go of the stuff. I don't feel like I've had that problem. The challenge.
The idea behind it is to build a platform where someone who wants to use mobile technology in a theatrical performance can easily kind of get our toolkit, choose from a list of options that we can give them, and build their show on their own.
So where do you think in the long run, what's your role in the long run on this project?
Oh, I don't. You know,
You're going to continue to get your degree.
Yeah, and I think that will. I want to push it in different directions. I really do want to see what's the best way that this can happen. You know, I mean, you see the Super Bowl or the Olympics, you see these kinds of audience interactive technologies that are trying to be used, and I'm really interested in seeing how that matures. And you know, I just kind of want to be there.
So you want to be part of it?
Yeah.
Beginning, yeah.
Performances, whether it's a concert or a play or certainly a dance.
Yeah, a rock concert. You know, I've been even thinking about sports events, because that's of course a giant theatrical event.
Yes, they're becoming more and more scripted, I think.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I should go for wrestling.
Yes.